For our biodiversity project, we got the arthropods, and in these slides, we will be going over the different subgroups that we were assigned and go over important factors of what makes an arthropod an arthropod. This is by Izzy Donica and Samantha Moore.
For the arthropods' distinguishing characteristics, we have the body, which is divided into the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. They have exoskeletons made of chitin. They are highly developed sense of organs. Their body has jointed appendages which help in locomotion. Their head bears a pair of compound eyes, and their bodies are made of bilateral symmetry.
Next, we researched the ecological significance of arthropods. The bioecology is closely linked with global functioning and survival. It is shown that insects pollinate plants, produce useful substances, act as a pest control, and serve as a main food for other animals and also for humans. They play an important role in maintaining the health of ecosystems. They provide livelihoods and nutrition for human communities, and they are important indicators of environmental change.
This is the evolutionary history of arthropods. The arthropod group were among the first animals to develop jointed limbs and exoskeletons. They first appeared during the Carboniferous period. All arthropods are thought to have evolved from a single common ancestor, which scientists aren't sure of what they looked like or when they even existed. Arthropods colonized land about 100 million years before vertebrates did. The evolutionary history of arthropods are shown by a rich record of fossils, but current analysis conflict over whether certain fossil groups are stem or crown group arthropods.
Our first subgroup of arthropods, we have the trilobites. And as seen in the picture, we can see that they possess both hard exoskeletons and well-developed eyes. They were first fossilized. Arthropods hold the distinction of being the first dominant form of complex life on Earth, appearing at the first time when the world was just emerging from its frozen planet state, and the seas were ripe from the bloomings of biodiversity. The body is divided in three parts: the cephalon, thorax, and pterygium. The thorax contained 3 or more pairs of legs, and they were the earliest groups of arthropods. They went extinct about 252 million years ago during Great Permian extinction, and their domain is Eukaryota. Our second subgroup are the Cheliceratops. They have 2 body segments and 6 pairs of appendages. As you can tell in the photo, there are 6 pairs, and they have 2 body segments that you can easily identify. They have no antennas or mandibles. They are one of the ancient groups of arthropods. They originated as marine animals, but now can be seen as marine or land. Their distinguishing characteristics are the chelicerae and their pedipalps. They are 500 million years old.
Our third group of arthropods are crustaceans. They have a hard, flexible exoskeleton made of chitin and mineral salts. They have segmented bodies with 2 antennae and 3 mouths. They have gills for respiration since they are often free living in saltwater and freshwater. They are found mainly in water, for example, freshwater, seawater, and even inland brines, which have several times been the salt concentration of seawater. They have two compound eyes, often found on stalks. For example, would be a crab. They have tails and claws, which another example of that would be the lobster. A group of invertebrate animals that consist of some 45,000 species distributed worldwide.
Next subgroup are the centipedes and millipedes, and they're one of the most recognizable ones, and they're segmented bodies with many jointed legs and one antenna, as you can tell in the picture, and they have external skeletons with little holes to breathe through on the sides. They are invertebrates, and they are part of the phylum Arthropoda, and they lay their eggs in soil. And centipedes have one pair of legs per segment, while millipedes have two pairs of legs per segment. Centipedes are fast runners, while millipedes are slow walkers.
Our fifth group of the arthropods are insects. They have no backbones, but they do have an exoskeleton. They have segmented bodies that are divided into three, which are the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. They have compound eyes and they hatch from eggs. Another interesting fact are that insects can often walk on water. There are plenty of social colonies, such as bees, termites, and ants. Insects are known as the largest group in the phylum Arthropod. They are the most diverse group in living animals in the world, and there are millions of them that take over many animals.
For next slide, we have our topics of interest, which our first topic that we chose was over the behavioral studies of arthropods, which we have concluded that they have a high capacity of olfactory learning, and their brain structures are more complex than previously thought to be. The hormonal physiology behind behavioral traits suggests that personality variation in arthropods may be driven by endocrine modulation.
The next thing we thought was interesting was the functional morphology and biomechanics. The definition for that is linking of the functions like flapping flight, legged locomotion, and gripping. We thought that the biggest part was structured materials with tremendous diversity of properties have evolved, resulting in different morphological features. Multi-optimized properties is that organisms are usually adapted to different environmental stresses and sometimes face unexpected risks.
For our last slide, we have a summary of our research on arthropods. Arthropods are invertebrate animals that have an exoskeleton, normally made out of chitin, segmented bodies that are separated in three parts, and jointed appendages. These species are part of a large domain called the phylum Arthropoda. This includes the subgroups of species such as insects, centipedes, and crustaceans, and more. The trilobites are metacathenas, the cheliceratops are spiders, the crustaceans are crabs, and then centipedes and millipedes, and insects, which are any type of butterflies. We broke down each subgroup by their characteristics and provided a few examples of each one.